Good afternoon. Nora, how are you?
Got me red
Let's welcome Nora. She tried to beautify herself. She's already very beautiful. How are you, dear?
I'm fine. How about yourself? It's wonderful to hear you play. I don't hear you so often anymore.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just fiddling around and just having some fun, you know. You're the only reason I go grab that instrument. I don't practice very much. Let me put it down. So I'm playing on a 5-string violin. It covers violin and viola. So I'm having some fun, and it has amplification. So I'm going to turn it off now so we can have less noise. Yeah. So anything new?
Yeah, it's something new. You know, it's so funny. I was talking to a friend the other day.
Turning the air conditioner off. Yeah.
I said to them, well, they were saying, well, look where we are now with this COVID lockdown. What have we done? I mean, all these months wasted. And I felt, you know what? I don't think so. Personally, I don't feel I've lost or wasted anything. Because during these 4 months of the lockdown, so much has happened personally in my life.
Right.
I was able to continue and finish and graduate with my MA in theater, which is the second master's degree that I have accumulated so far. I have been able to take the Socially Relevant Film Festival's 7th edition online, of course, not single-handedly, with the help of everyone, including yourself on the team and everybody helping us to get together. And the filmmakers have been extremely collaborative. And, you know, I'm so grateful to everyone, because instead of writing it off and forgetting about these wonderful films that we spent months and months selecting and putting together, we've been able to put it online, and through that reach an even bigger audience internationally. So I cannot complain. Then as soon as that was over, it was already in the works and I was already planning it. It's not like suddenly I said, okay, what am I doing next? And let's do this. A play that I had been wanting to direct for quite some time, called Immigrant Woman. This is like the literal translation from the Italian original. Io donna immigrata, I immigrant woman. And it's a series of 3 monologues by 3 different immigrant women, and written by Valentina Acava Mmaka, who is a journalist and a playwright, half Italian, half Greek, and she lives in Kenya. So it's very, very interesting combination. And years ago, I was writing to her this morning, and she reminded me that we met 16 years ago.
Wow.
I felt, wow, time has flown. And this was a project we were supposed to be doing back then. And when things happened, my life turned around and I traveled, I came to New York, and other things took the priority. So it kind of remained dormant. And then recently, at Hunter College, as part of my master's degree in theater and film, I thought, wow, this would be a very nice play, and it's still very timely. 16 years on, there is still a huge immigration and migration problem in the world today, and especially when it concerns women, because women end up paying the highest price in all of these issues. So I felt, wow, this is something I would like to revisit. And Valentina very kindly gave me the permission, and we were supposed to do it like live in a theater with actresses and everything. And of course, yay, COVID came on, and of course it was not possible anymore. But then I didn't want to give up on it, because everyone has been putting on plays on Zoom nowadays. And I felt maybe that's what we should do. And since there are 3 different monologues, they lend themselves very nicely to 3 different, but it's kind of intertwined. I didn't want them to be one monologue and then another monologue and then a third monologue, but we kind of intertwined them so that it looks more like a coherent piece, which would have been done if we were actually staging it. So there you go. And I'm very happy that I found great actresses and very suitable for the characters that we are portraying. And they are bringing so much from their own. And so I'm very keen to see how it will be received on Saturday and Sunday.
We have a guest in our comment, made a comment, maybe you'll recognize her. RJHIGHT. Did you see it?
Oh, it's one of the actresses.
Okay.
I can't see the comments.
Oh, you cannot? Oh, okay. Okay, I can bring it to here, to the bottom.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
What does it say?
She said, exciting to hear Nora Armani discuss iMigrant woman.
Yeah.
She said, yeah. So how could you tell us a little bit about just a little bit like how the process of moving from a theater to rehearse on Zoom, how does you don't have to give us the story line which we wanted to watch on Saturday and Sunday.
Absolutely. I don't want to give away the story.
So how did the transformation from theater to Zoom, like how difficult it is or how easy it is, or tell us a little bit.
Very interesting that you're asking this question, because I've been telling the actresses during our rehearsal period that we are dealing with a medium that is neither theater nor film, but it's something in between. It's not television. We're not doing television, and we're not doing cinema, but it's theater. It's still very much theater, performed as you would perform from a stage. Of course, there are certain small adjustments that you need to make. However, basically it's in between, because the emotion and the actual passion and delivery of the lines and what the character is and the building of the character is very much like a play. It's not like a film where you do a close-up and then a little bit and then you cut the two together, and it's like, not at all. It's like you are on the whole time, just like you are on the whole time on stage, except instead of us seeing your whole body, we're seeing like from here up, so it's kind of limited. You can use your hands for certain expressions. Maybe you want to show that you are taking note of something, or little details like that, which we are bringing in to make it more come alive and be more real. So that's one of the adjustments. The other adjustment is there isn't very much room to move around, but I've also told them to feel free to come forward. And then there are 3 different ways you address your audience. Like when you look directly into the audience and you say something to them, or you think of something and you're really talking more to yourself and being more, yeah, I should have done that, and so on. And you see, it's like little details that kind of compensate for the fact that you are not there in full body on the stage. Of course, there's nothing like being live on a stage, but hey, this is our new reality now.
And Zoom, and also I use StreamYard to broadcast thing. Is Zoom like you can only have one person talk at the one time,
The
right?
thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The disadvantage, the one disadvantage, like in plays, for example, there are situations where 2 characters speak together at the same time, or overlap each other, or they're yelling at each other. With Zoom, there is always a gap, like a beat. If I say something and you want to respond, it's not immediate. There is a little gap.
Mm.
So we are adjusting to those, but definitely 2 people cannot talk at the same time.
Mm. So when you have people watching you, now can people make comments while they're watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the way it is, this is not like a regular Zoom meeting. It's more like a webinar. And what happens with the webinar function is that you have a number of the actors and myself. We are panelists.
Mhm.
And then the audience is registered or comes on as attendee.
Mm.
An attendee cannot be seen or heard unless the host, in this case myself, gives them permission to be seen and heard. Which we will do at the end. Like there's going to be a Q&A session, and like maybe 10 minutes into the Q&A, we're going to invite everyone on camera so that we can see who is with us. And also it will be a nice opportunity for people to network, to talk to each other. And it would be a meeting opportunity as well, not just, us being seen and the audience secretly watching.
How long is the play?
The play should not be more than an hour. We haven't really timed it yet because we did a couple of tech rehearsals, but each time, of course, with the tech, you have so many interruptions. So I haven't been able to really time it, but it's just about an hour. Yeah. And then we are dedicating another half hour to have a Q&A with the playwright who will be joining us from Kenya.
Great. I see she's here right now. Valentina.
Oh, yes, Valentina is here.
Valentina. How do I say her last name?
Mmaka.
Mmaka. Hi, Valentina Mmaka. Yeah, I did a little research on all of you. So
yeah, that's cool.
Amazing.
What is Valentina saying?
She's saying, "Hi, Nora. To be happy to be here. Listen to you."
Wow, that's great, Valentina. It's wonderful to have you with us. I'm so looking forward for you to be with us on Friday as well for our rehearsal.
It's amazing. She's written like 11 books or something. She's really productive. Nicole is here. Nicole is here. Nice to see you both here talking about theater. Exciting. Hi, Nicole.
Yes. Nicole has been doing quite a number of play readings herself with different groups and so on. So she's probably, I watched a couple of the things that she did. And it's interesting because just as you train as an actor to be on stage and you train as an actor to be on camera for film and television, now this is a new medium for actors to be trained in. So you're learning how to position yourself, how to make sure you are in the middle of the frame, how to not get too close, not get too far, and so on and so forth. And also play, because sometimes when you're too far, your expressions don't read so well.
Yeah.
So in those cases, you can come forward and say something important. Really look at the audience. And so we're all learning. It's a new medium.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
new toy for us to play with.
definitely, definitely. Um, and we have quite a few people saying hi. Adriana.
Yeah, Adriana is also one of our actresses.
Hi, Adriana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She said, "Hi, Nora. Great to hear you speak about the play. I'm Migrant.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very
So
nice.
we called it I Migrant Woman
I
instead of
Migrant.
I Immigrant Woman.
I Immigrant Woman. Oh, okay.
Actually, it's the real name is I Immigrant Woman,
Oh,
but
okay.
we changed it. I also is the short for internet or
Yeah.
for anything that is online. So
Right.
this is online. So we're
Yeah.
calling it I Migrant.
Right. Oh, okay.
Immigrants are also migrants.
Yeah.
And in this story, I don't want to give away the story, but
Yeah.
one common thread
Yeah.
is that these women are not necessarily immigrating completely,
Uh-huh.
but they want a better life for themselves and for loved ones, for their
Mhm.
loved ones.
Mhm.
And the real intention is after a while to go back to their country.
Okay.
So it's very, very important. That is a very important message, or
Mhm.
let's say, point that the
Mhm.
play is making.
Right. Right.
And it's important for us to understand that because a lot of the refugees and immigrants that we encounter nowadays,
Mhm.
and this international refugee and immigration problem,
Mhm.
people judge and people misunderstand the
Yeah.
immigrants. A
Yeah.
lot of the time, these people have no choice
Yeah.
because they're running away from dire poverty, they're running away from ravages of war, and
Mhm.
in some cases, as women, they are seeking a possibility of expressing themselves freely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very much in that sense a feminist piece.
Yeah. And your parents are American, right? But you
No,
were born.
no, not at all. I am first generation. I mean, I
Oh, okay.
came to this country myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with my ex-husband.
So you were born in Egypt.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your background, please.
Well, I was born in Egypt of Armenian parents and part Italian, part Russian. I like in my ancestry, so it's like a mixed bag of tricks. But it's
You're a
funny.
mutt.
I always felt myself, I never was an immigrant in the sense of running away from a war
Mhm. Yeah.
or poverty or like the women in this story, but
Uh-huh.
I completely identify with them
Mhm.
because all the years that I was living in Egypt, I never really felt I belonged.
Mm.
Being an Armenian, we actually, it might also be partly the fault of the minorities that live in a country that
Mhm.
they have a tendency of keeping themselves apart or keeping themselves to themselves instead of embracing the culture and integrating into the culture. So
Mhm.
for a long time, I was limited to going to the Armenian clubs and doing theater with the Armenian. Well, in a way, it's not a bad idea because that's how my talent, if any,
Mhm.
was discovered, or I discovered things about myself that
Mhm.
I have a capacity, I should be developing it. It's within that sheltered and closed in atmosphere of the Armenian cultural clubs that these opportunities were offered
Mhm.
to develop as an artist, as an actor.
Mhm.
Then, when I left Egypt, actually in Egypt, I went to the American University in Cairo, and there I did quite a lot of theater with the American University Theater Company. There already it was a step up or a step further from what I had been doing in the community theater,
Mhm.
where by it was more like semi-professional, I would say. And then my classes were also related to the theater that I was doing there. Then I traveled to England,
Mm.
continue my studies at the University of London, at London School of Economics, but it was in sociology because I wanted to do theater, but the drama schools that I applied to, they had a longer waiting period. I had to wait until the following January to audition to be accepted the following September, which meant I was losing a year.
Mm.
And of course, at age 22, you don't want to lose a year. You just want to keep going. So in the meantime, I got offered a place at the very prestigious London School of Economics in sociology. So I went there.
Mm.
The whole time that I was in London, I was also acting.
Mm.
So I never really stopped acting from a very early age.
Is your parents in the arts?
Not at all. My mother, actually, it's interesting that I've never really spoken about it. She used to play the violin.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
My mother played the violin. I personally never heard her play, sadly, because you know how it is in the Middle East, like, you know, this very conservative atmosphere. She got married, she left her violin behind and came to become a mother and create children. But I felt the frustration of
Yeah.
the artist in her her
Uh-huh.
entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And part of the reason why I took on the stage name Armani
Yeah.
was as an honor and a tribute to her, because I felt her name was Armina Armani. So I took it on, and kind of a way of continuing the artistic journey for both of us.
Yeah.
My father had aspirations when he was younger, but of course, none of these were encouraged, especially, you know, you got to get a job, you got to get a profession, you got to make money, music, things like that, theater, acting, you know, it's very insecure, especially when you are a minority in the country and you are not necessarily integrated and part of the mainstream. So it was not easy.
Yeah.
Later, when I got older, I got offered a place to go and do a dance academy in Armenia. Because I used to dance, and my ballet meister, like the choreographer teacher, was from the IFF, very important IFF dance company. And she said she could arrange for a scholarship for me to go to Armenia and study dance and be 100% full-time dancer. And I got so excited. I went home and I told my father, I said, wow, the teacher said like this, I could go and do this and do that. And he goes, no way. And I'm like, uh-oh, okay. I was 17 years old, you know, you don't make up your mind and go against your parents or something.
Yeah.
So the chapter was closed.
I see.
But obviously, the book wasn't put aside, which obviously meant that I came back and I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah. You're doing wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your. So you get great education, and when did you start to perform as an actress?
I started to perform as early as when I was 15. I mean, even earlier than that. When I was a kid, I used to go and spend the summers with my cousins in Alexandria, with my aunt and her kids and everybody. And as I was the oldest of the cousins, I used to stage plays. You know? I used to gather everybody and, you know, take things from our textbooks, from the school textbooks, because that's all I had available to me at that age. Like I must have been 8 or 9 or 10, not more. And I used to stage whatever stories we had in our textbooks and roles to everyone. And we used to play for the grown-ups. But actually really playing on stage in front of an audience, I would say maybe when I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
or 16, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think being an actor is something you can learn, or is like whether you are in your blood or not? Like not everyone can be actress or actor. Isn't it a talent plus you have to learn how to do it?
Actually, it's a very interesting question that I haven't really thought about, but it allows me. I think that the people who grow up in an environment where there is acting and theater and it is encouraged have a tendency of becoming actors and being good at it. It's not something you can teach someone from scratch because there is an instinctive moment, something that you cannot teach. You can train, you can develop,
Mhm.
but you cannot. If somebody has no facility or no affinity or desire, for that
Mhm.
matter,
Mhm.
to act or perform or anything like that, I would imagine it would be very difficult to actually extract anything out of them.
Mhm.
It's the same with music.
Mhm.
I'm sure you have a lot of students who, some of them have a capacity of um, making some piece their own right away and flying with it,
Mhm.
whereas others have to toil at it forever and
Mhm.
still not get to the same level as the other ones.
Yeah, I think for music is number one thing is you have to have good ears.
Yes,
Because if you cannot hear the difference of the pitch for string instruments, very difficult. I mean,
thank
piano,
you.
you maybe get away with it.
Yeah,
And then
piano.
the other is has to do with, of course, good training and a desire to express, to
Right,
wanting to tell good stories,
absolutely.
and that is very similar to
Yeah.
yours. So, what makes a person is a good actress?
Well, listening is something very important that you just mentioned, and I
Mhm.
think an actor, first and foremost, before they even open their mouths and say something, they have to be able to listen to their partner. Because when you're listening, the clue to your reaction is in what is being said to you. And acting is actually reacting to something. It's not like on your own, you just act. Of course, when it comes to a monologue, you're going to say, but the monologue is if a person is doing a one person show or a monologue, who are they listening to? Well, you are listening to your own memory. You are listening to things that you have experienced in the past, or you are listening to your own thought process and to your own emotions and reacting to these.
Mhm.
But definitely it's reacting to something, not just going off and doing something. The other thing I would say is taking your time, and this is something that I'm saying it because I'm also reminding myself,
Mhm.
because I learned something and now I know it, and it's wonderful that I know my lines and so on and so forth, and there is this need to rush through them,
Mhm.
to just say the lines and show that I know them.
Mhm.
But like right now, I'm stopping and thinking, I don't know what I'm going to say next. And then yes, it's very, very important to take your time
Mhm.
and think of what it is that you're going to say next, formulate your thought, or if there is an emotional moment, react to that emotion rather than just go through it. And when you're preparing a role, it's a very funny process. At the beginning, you're you don't know the lines, so you're just reading what's on the page, and obviously it's very much reading. But in order for you to come out of that reading, not to make it like you're reading off of a page, you start going with instinctive interpretations, and those are very interesting. because it's your first instinctive outburst of something, reacting to a word on a page, and you're just instinctively reacting to it.
Mm.
It's very important to remember that. Because later, when you start analyzing and breaking it down and learning your lines and so on and so forth, you tend to lose that spontaneity.
Mm.
It's how to get back to that spontaneity and make it look like you're saying it for the first time that really matters.
Mm. You know, being a good musician, whether you play orchestra or chamber music or your own solo parts, deep down, actually, we look at the score, we look at the composer. In your sense, you need to look at your script, whoever wrote that. Now, are there any stretch that you could do a little bit different, or for music we supposed to do everything composer tell us to do, but then every performance, depending on who is conducting or who is playing that Chopin piece, we can add on our own interpretation onto it, but still we need to respect the score.
Well, it's
How
very
does that?
much the same with performances because it depends on who the author is and how much they have specified what you have to do.
Mm,
Like, for example, when you read plays by Bernard Shaw, for example, he takes huge efforts of in detail describing everything that is happening, what the character is doing, standing, sitting, looking, and lifting something, and so on and so forth. And if it's all there, it means that there's a reason for it. If you don't like that, then go pick another play, something that is a little bit more free.
mm, mm,
Shakespeare, for example,
mm,
is it's all in the words.
mm,
There's no description of he's going this, doing that, sitting up or
mm,
down or standing up. But if you read carefully, the key to what you're supposed to be saying or the
mm,
emotion or the thought process, which
mm,
sometimes is very long and it goes from the beginning of the monologue of a Shakespeare monologue all the way to the end. So you need to have very good voice training, very good breathing, and to be able to sustain that thought process from beginning to end.
mm. Yeah.
But it also allows you a lot of openings and improvisations of interpreting it in different ways,
Mm,
doing it a modern version, doing it. But at the end of the day, the thought process and the emotion remain the same.
mm. Which genre do you prefer to play as an actor?
Like you need to say stage versus film or
Yeah, or film or stage or yeah.
I am a stage actor. I love being on stage. I have gotten the best reviews of my life doing stage work, the awards doing stage work. Although I have done film as well, a lot of film, and I'm able to make the transition. There was a moment in my life, in my career, where I lost the capacity of making the transition from acting on stage to the film. I guess because it comes with uh, not doing it often enough or
Mm,
close enough. So you tend to get to a situation where you want to do more because you want to compensate.
mhm,
In reality, with screen acting, less is more.
mm, mhm,
The camera reads everything. It reads your emotion, your thoughts in your eyes, what you're trying to say. So there is no need to project or be over the top or anything like that. On stage, you still have to be very truthful to the character, but the form is different. The form, you can be big and broad, and it has to project. You have to reach the person at the very end of the first last row of the theater. And I am feeling very sad as I'm saying this, because God knows when we will all have a chance again to walk on a stage. Maybe we will, but it will be smaller situations of smaller casts and restrained number of audiences, not thousands of people in a big theater. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong, and the time will come when we will be able to perform on stage again.
Yeah, there's nothing same compared to perform live to live audience,
Yeah,
right? What we try to do here, Zoom, or we do these YouTube things, it's better. Yeah, then we don't have anything, but still, it's we're not seeing people in real. And when you perform, there's the energy you get from your audience
totally.
is incredible, right?
It's magic. That's
Yeah,
where theater magic happens. The
right.
other thing is that the theater is the actor's medium. Like,
Hmm.
of course, you're not going to go and do things off the top of your head. You're going to listen to the director and do what you have done in rehearsal and all
Yeah.
that. But at the end of the day, you as an actor have full control of what you do on stage.
Hmm.
That determines how good or how bad your performance is. But on film, you might do fantastic things, but then for some reason, one reason or another, the director, when they are cutting the film together, might see that this scene is not working very well with the rest of the story.
Hmm.
So your fantastic Oscar worthy moment might end on the cutting room floor.
Hmm.
You might not, well, cutting room floor, we don't have cutting room floors anymore. It
Yeah.
would end in the rejects file. But um, there are things that an actor learns to do when acting on screen, so that there is less of a chance for that piece to be thrown away.
Yeah.
You have
So
to,
in terms of director and being an actor, you were in both, and you were actress and director. And so tell us a little bit of what is a director do, or what do you enjoy doing that?
I love directing. I just love it because there is a huge difference. If I had to go on stage or on Zoom
Hmm.
say 3 lines, I would panic like hell, like go nuts and start to feel, oh my God, stage fright and so on and so forth, just because as an actor,
Hmm.
you are on the front, you are like in the front row of the
Right.
attack.
Right.
You're there in front of the cannons. Not that the audience is shooting at you, but
Hmm.
that's how it feels.
Hmm.
But as a director, I love watching and helping the actors with little details. I don't give too many notes, because if an actor is doing something and they are suggesting something interesting to me, I should go with that,
Mm.
because I cast that actor.
Mm.
If I cast that actor, I should trust what they are offering
Mm.
and not try to completely break them apart and put them back together again. If
Mm.
I don't like them, then I should go get another actor.
Hmm.
But there is no point in picking an actor and then all the way along the way trying to tell them to do something completely differently than what they are
Mm.
offering you to do.
Mm. Mm.
So therefore, that it's true when they say casting is very, very important, and it's 90% of the work. It's like you cast somebody the right way. It takes your time, but once you cast them, you have to trust your instincts and the actor's instincts.
Mm.
The other thing I want to say as a director,
Mm.
it's a very ungrateful job with
Hmm.
directing,
Yeah.
because usually when somebody directs something
Yeah.
and the actors are really good and the performance is good,
Hmm.
nobody remembers the director.
Mm-hmm.
They go, wow, they did such a great job. Everybody was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And they turn around and to you as a director and say, how did you find these people? They're so extraordinary and so and so.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the biggest compliment for it.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
means
see.
that your work was done the right way
Mm-hmm.
and you made the actors shine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the purpose of the director.
Yeah.
And by meaning the actors shine, meaning that the story was told in the correct way and it reached the audience
Mm-hmm.
without them being bothered by the presence of a director who's trying this and trying that and making all sorts of funny special effects or having people stand on their heads and do all sorts of funny things to
Mm-hmm.
be noticed, to say
Mm-hmm.
that, wow, that direction was so interesting.
Mm.
It's not about that. Personally, that's how I feel. There are
Yeah.
some directors who like, to use the actors as, like, how do you say, puppets.
Mm.
And for them, it's like the general um, tableau
Mm.
that matters.
Mm.
And the
Mm.
actor is just the element in it. And
Yeah.
I'm not one of those because I also am an actor myself.
Right.
I guess.
So, so do you have preference of what kind of role you would like to play?
Hmm. I I tend to go for um, powerful, intelligent, independent women types.
Mm.
And I really feel at home in those roles. They could be the classics, they could be contemporary pieces, but it's not the little simple mousy thing that,
Mm-hmm.
it's more like a presence.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. In the classics, there are so many things I would like to play, but I don't want to make a long list here because,
Yeah.
yeah, who knows? But I'm thinking the other day, I was thinking, I did a play a few years ago in Armenia. I was invited specially to star in a play about the immigrations, again, immigrations during Stalin in the
Mm.
late 40s. A lot
Mm.
of people immigrated to go and live behind the Iron Curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they went there with lots of idealistic ideas of the Soviet Union and
Mm-hmm.
communism and socialist lifestyle and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very, very much disappointed of
Mm.
what they found.
Mm.
So that was the story that I was playing. And originally, it was written as a monologue.
Mm-hmm.
And then the playwright, together with the director, they developed it, they added characters. So all the characters that she's speaking about were present. They don't say much because most of the lines and the dial and the text was still my character.
Mm.
But the other characters were there illustrating and happening and being. So now with the author, we're thinking of, since we are confined to this machine now in front of us, the Zoom thing or the internet, why not bring back the original monologue thing? So that could be something that I would do next.
Mm.
And it's called Mercedes, like the car, but it's the woman's name actually.
Mm.
And it tells about her experiences when she first leaves the westernized countries and goes to live behind the Iron Curtain.
Mm.
Of course, with censorship and everything, she could not tell her sister, and the whole play is about the correspondence between her and her sister. She
Mm.
cannot tell her sister what life is really about because the letters are censored. She would go to Siberia. She would be exiled or something. So she keeps saying life is beautiful. We are doing very well here. We are happy. The children are grateful for your packages and so on and so forth. But in reality, we are seeing everything she's going
Mm-hmm.
through. So we'll see.
Have you ever considered being a writer or write plays?
Actually, I have written
Mm-hmm.
stuff, not as much as I would like to because I'm not disciplined enough. I have OCD. I mean it because I go from one project to the next. And so to be a writer, it means you have to drop everything, wake up in the morning, sit in front of your computer and write.
Mm,
In my life, there was one such period when I created my own one-woman show, which is called On the Couch with Nora Armani.
mm,
And I was supposed to do it September 2nd in London and October 11 in New York as part of the United Solo Festival. I'm very happy to say that it's accepted in the United Solo Festival,
mm.
but they had to cancel both. Now they are considering of doing London later in November because things
Oh,
are kind of equal, balancing
no.
themselves out in the
Mm,
UK. But New York is still up in the air. I don't think it's going to happen this year.
mm,
But that is a show that I have written completely myself.
mhm. Yeah.
And it's kind of autobiographical. It's
Mm,
about identity, about travels, and so on. And after so many years of doing it, now I am kind of readjusting it a little and
mhm,
calling it back on the couch with
mm,
Nora Armani.
mm. Right. Because every so many years you're gonna make a little update, right, of the
That's
new experience.
That's true. I mean, this was when was the last time I did it? I mean, maybe 7 years ago, something like that.
Mm,
So a lot has happened since I did it last.
mhm,
Not that you have to talk about every single thing,
mhm.
but there are some elements in it that don't hold true anymore
Yeah.
if we look at it today. So at
It's
least,
not current. Yeah.
absolutely, those I will definitely change. And then maybe once I get to it, you know how it is. Once you sit down to write,
Mm,
new ideas come, and then new things come, and then
mm,
maybe it will end up with a sequel. Maybe it will end up quite changed. And
mm. So all these years, past or present, how do you train as an actress? Like, I'm not an actress. I know physically
oh,
I have to practice on my
training.
instrument.
It's very
Training.
important.
I guess
Yeah.
it's a big question.
It is. It's a big question, but I did not start off by going to a drama school. Like that's what I intended to do. But my training came hands on doing the thing. But later on, after I graduated from the London University of London, I came to the United States, and here I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts for a brief period when I was living in Los Angeles. And I also studied with the Lee Strasberg Institute on the method and all that. Um, then again, continued hands on until I went back to live in Paris. There, I was subjected to a completely different type of training, which was physical theater. And that is a huge eye opener and huge developer, completely different from anything that we imagine here, like the method and sense memory and all those things. It's okay, it's very interesting to remember traumatic events, but then it's like, why you can't always rely on that. You can't
Mhm,
always bring it up and then at the beck and call, get emotional because your dog died.
mm,
And I'm like, my mother died. And if I'm playing my mother's death, I'm going to think of a dog that I had who died. I mean, it's
mm,
a little strange sometimes. And I have also been into training sessions with that method that kind of get to be strange because people are putting undue stresses and strains on themselves of trying to recreate emotional moments and so on. And if they cannot get to them, it's traumatic, and then you get blocked as an actor. Okay. Now, the French style and also the British, which comes from that, it all begins with Lecoq method and the neutral mask. This is like the French physical theater beginnings. And the neutral mask is a mask that doesn't have, it's not like the Commedia dell'arte mask where they have particular characters, but it's totally neutral, like blank. Of course, the eyes and the mouth is open so you can see. And that brings out the character. First of all, when somebody's wearing, I'm just simplifying it like this, but there are certain exercises that one does. With the neutral mask, the smallest gesture suddenly registers like a huge statement. So you learn to be very economical with your movements, even though it says physical theater. It doesn't mean that the actor is doing triple somersaults and hanging from trees and doing, that's Cirque du Soleil, that's completely different. But when you're acting, the movements have to be very organic and spring from the real moment that you are experiencing. And the exercises with the neutral mask and all those physical theater trainings allow you to discover things about yourself. And the languages and the use of language and the misuse of language. The classical way of performances, many Shakespearean actors do that too. There is a cadence. You get into da-dun, 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 and then like speak it rather than sing it. But all these trainings make you become more closely connected to the words.
I see. Yeah. Hey, by the way, it's interesting. I'm looking at us, right? It looks like we're in the same space, which we're not. Nora's house has a red wall. And my house has a red wall too. I'm moving around my camera. It looks like we're in the same house. We're not.
That's right. It looks so funny.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. So and thank you so much. Now I wanted to make just a little bit announcement for the show. This Nora, believe it or not, this you are on here. It's number 38 episode I have done since March.
You've done so much.
Yeah, I've done. That's including interviewing Yangan as a group, and also I did 9 Yangan groups thing, and then the rest is all 1-to-1 basically. And so the talk show is every Monday, every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm still chuckling around. I think I'm going to be. Let's see. I'll tell you just a few people I'm going to feature today. Of course, is you, Nora. And on Wednesday, I'm featuring Kyle Gann, Gann. He's a composer. He used to be the critic review for Village Voice until 2005. So very interesting. He now is a composer. And then next Monday today is going to be Paget Kager, Kagy, who is a very, 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 very famous YouTuber and Yangan actor, totally incredible, passionate political commentator. Yeah. And then on 29th, I'm talking to my son's teacher, Carol Rodland from Juilliard School. And then a week after that, I'm talking to, I just booked Thomas and Jill Simone.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought Thomas is incredible interesting to me. Not that Jill is not. Jill is interesting too. But Thomas is a musician. He's a composer. He's a rock and roll player. So that should be so wonderful. So I booked both of them,
But you do so much. You're so amazing. Maybe I should say this. because Ching is also a filmmaker, and we have screened her films, her documentaries at the Socially Relevant Film Festival, and we are preparing another one, which is coming up in August. It's called SR for Black Voices. It's for the Black Lives Matter movement, and she has been covering all the different events and
Protest.
and the marches and everything. And she's putting together a very nice piece for us, and we're so keen to see it.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll do my best. I've been so far 4 events of Black Lives Matter protests, and I also went to shoot Occupy City last Saturday, but I haven't really put it together because it's a lot of material.
Yeah.
Like I interviewed 7 or 8 people.
I can imagine.
Yeah, some of them are very passionate, some of them very sad, some of them very mad, some of them are kind of a little cuckoo, you know. So, yeah, I want to portray them the best way I can, you know. And so anyway, yeah. So I'm doing this show on Monday and Wednesday. And thank you, Nora has been on before.
The most important is like maybe we should also tell people about the play.
Yeah, we will. Let me finish it. So please subscribe my channel if you have not, Juhl Media. Please consider subscribe. Yeah, and so I do a lot of work despite the pandemic. And let's talk more about the show in case somebody just came in the later. Talk about the show.
Yeah, so it's called iMigrant Woman, or Immigrant Woman in reality, but we kind of shortened it, iMigrant Woman. It's the story of 3 different women. Actually, it's 3 different stories told by 4 different women, by 5 actresses. So now it's very intriguing, okay? 3 women, 4 women, and 5 actresses. Okay. The only way to find out how this can happen is for you to tune in Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. on Zoom and find out about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can put is there a way that I
can you, can you see comment this button? Then you can write comment stuff in there. You know what? All the information about ticket, about things is below in the YouTube. YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I could, if you let me, I'll go in there.
Comments. I can go to comments.
Yeah, you go to comments. You can write whatever you want in a comment. Then I can pull them on the screen. You know. Yeah. So
I don't think I.
Did you see the comment?
Yeah, I do see the comments, but I don't think I can write in there myself.
Really? Why is that? Oh, okay.
See them,
okay. Do you want me to write something? What would you like me to write?
Yeah, well, I was going to send the link, but I don't know.
The link? Oh, okay. You mean the Zoom link?
Yeah.
Okay. I could do that. If I go to...
No, not the Zoom link. There is a link to an email that people can open and see all the details.
People actually can see underneath the description. It's all in. It's all down. Yeah, in the we are on YouTube right now. Yeah, so I put all the stuff there. Okay. Right. And also people, if you use Facebook, you can go into Facebook, and then there's lots of at least 1 or 2 events, I think. Facebook event. You just type in iMigrant. Yeah. And speak of migrant, can I tell you a short story?
Yes.
Well, I'm very much an immigrant myself, woman, and today is July 20th, right? So tomorrow, July 21st, it is the anniversary of me leaving China 35 years ago. 35 years ago, I left China on July 21st. I landed in Hong Kong first. And then I got my boot training in Hong Kong for a week by my far relatives I've never met before. And then because I know nothing about nothing, so I hate this. Sorry, this is a scam. Anyway, so then a week later, which is July 28th, I arrived to United States. So yeah. So speaking of
That's another story you need to tell. When you see the play, you will see what I mean, because Valentina wrote a beautiful play about 3 different women. The first one, we made it African, but it's in the writing. See, that's another thing. With different playwrights, you can take liberties or make changes or adjustments or things. And this was one of those cases. So I'm not going to give away. I don't want to give away. But
don't give away. Tease us.
Yeah. But all of them have the commonality of wanting a better life for themselves. And this is something that could be ongoing.
Yeah.
These are the 3 stories that Valentina has picked and put together so beautifully.
Yeah.
And it's very touching as well, because these intimate stories about these women and their experiences, and they are talking about them and how they are being perceived and what they are dreaming of and so on. And it can be ongoing. Like this only 3 of them, but there are 36,000 stories out there.
Right.
Even more.
Right.
And let's say each rotating basis, we take another 3 stories and another 3 stories. It can be ongoing forever.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
So we're almost at the end of our talk. I have a question for you. I have a lot of questions for you. I always want to pick your brain, and one of them is, so you've done so many things. You have accomplished so many things. And is there anything else you want to do that you didn't have time to do?
No, nothing else, but one of the things that I am already doing, I want to now leave everything behind and just concentrate on one thing. That has been my big tragedy in life. I've never been able to focus.
Multitasker.
I know. That's what I said earlier, that I have OCD, because I start something and then I get all excited and get into it. I mean, this said, I'm not dropping it. Like, the festival has been going on 7 years, and we just did the 7th edition online, and
amazing.
We're getting the submissions for our
T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's a very the most responsible thing to do in the dark. People can misinterpret.
Yeah.
Pick my nose.
8th annual edition, so I can't say that I have OCD with it. I've been sticking to it and doing it. The other thing is my master's degree for 2 years. I finished a 2.5-year program. I finished it in 2 years. But then the one thing I would really want to concentrate on right now, drop everything and just do that, is act.
I see.
So that would be my next big project.
You should,
hoping that I will stick to my word.
You should learn how to play the violin with me.
Oh, wow. Actually, that's something I've thought about before.
You learn it, okay? Then you will respect me even more.
Violin is difficult. I could learn piano.
It's so hard. It's so very hard. Great. So, are we good? Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know if Valentina wants to ask a question, or one of the actors who are still listening.
Oh, do we have any questions from our audience? So let's see. Adriana said, great interview. RG Wright says, great interview. Kathy Chanel, I know exactly how it feels, family. Do you know Kathy?
No.
Chani, Chhhay. Okay. And then what else? Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Ching. See you on Saturday. Valentina said, thank you for sticking with us.
Yes, thank you, everybody. This is really cool. It's
Yeah.
like we're online. Maybe
So
we
Adriana is American. What is Adriana's?
Adriana is of Romanian
Hmm,
origin.
okay, okay.
And, yeah.
And then what about
One thing very interesting I want to say about this
Yeah.
play, which isn't in your description, I just
Yeah.
remembered.
Yeah.
The advantage of us doing it on Zoom is the fact that each of the actresses, the cast, everyone comes from somewhere.
Oh,
Adriana is from Chicago. Then we have Raquel, who is from London. Then
oh,
we have Rita, who is from Louisville, Kentucky. Then we have Edie from Los Angeles.
right,
And
right.
some are from Princeton, New Jersey.
Wow. Yeah.
And of course, Valentina is in Kenya and I am in New York. So if it weren't for COVID-19 and the Zoom and all that, we wouldn't have been able to bring all this international cast together. So that's another silver
Very
lining.
interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. So she said click on show more to see all information about your show. Okay, our show. All right.
Yeah, I guess it's at the bottom. You have
Yeah.
to show more.
Yeah, I cannot see right now, but if we finish this, then you will see the whole description in my YouTube channel. So so you probably get great. So well, is it good? Are we good?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really happy that you had the time for me again because
course.
we really
You
spoke
don't,
about
yeah, I think you're the only one. Actually, John, I interviewed him again last week with other two people, second time on the show, and you are the another second person as being on the show second time.
return
For different cause and different reasons. So we have excuses. Well, thank you so much, Nora, for being with me here, and then thank you for doing such wonderful job. You're always my inspiration.
Oh, I can do the same to you.
I learned so much from you. So, and keep doing the great job.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you in the gardens. Wave at you.
Between our buildings.
Yeah, and thank you guys, all of you watching us and being with us, listening to us, making comments, and good luck with those of you who are going to be at the show Saturday and Sunday. And I would love to watch your show.
Yes, let me say that there is going to be a Q&A afterwards with Valentina and myself and the cast and the cast members.
Yeah. Okay. Great. All right.
Thank you so much, Jing.
You're very welcome. Yeah. And take care and be safe, everybody. And
everyone.
Yeah. And thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. 谢谢. Thank you. Bye bye now. Bye now. Until next time.